Hey, everybody, and welcome to another Horror on TV episode. And we're going to be talking about the first six stories of season 3 of Creepshow. Now, I must say, even before I get TJ on here, I think the stories are starting to fall off a little bit, which for me is kind of a bad omen that they're starting to fall off this early. Um, there were things I liked about the stories and other things that I thought were kind of overdone, or I don't know if that's the right word or not. But when I get TJ on here, we'll talk more about these. Hey, Candace. Hey, Chris. Um, so let me just go over a few things for the end of the week, and then I'm gonna get TJ on here, and we're going to talk about these stories. So, tomorrow night I'll be doing another triple threat review show because I'm lazy and don't want to come up with a theme for Seductive Poison or Resurgence. I'll just be honest. Um, Friday will be another midday with Dana and Jay. Um, I must warn you that I think Jay is trying to get me to do a karaoke show, which means I will have to sing, which nobody wants that. I mean, I told him, I said, I'll do it, but there's got to be several people singing on this, so you don't just have to hear me. Because I'm the type of person that usually sings when I'm alone in the house. It's me, just me and the dogs or whatever. I don't generally like to sing in front of people. Um, but that may be forthcoming. Uh, Candace says, do it. Dana, I love karaoke. Well, only if you'll come on here and sing with me, Candace, so I don't sound so bad. Um, so I don't think we're going to do that on the midday show, but that may be forthcoming here really soon. We got a couple of watch alongs, no movie munchies this weekend because I will be at Horror Hound Weekend on Sunday, getting my picture taken with the Raimi brothers and possibly meeting William Cat and picking me up some merchandise from some of the vendors. And the two watch alongs we got coming up are Silence of the Lambs on Saturday, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And Sunday will be Grace in My Heart, which is one of my favorite musical type of films about a Carole King type of singer songwriter. If you've seen Grace in My Heart, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I think you'll really enjoy it if you're into those music type of films. So I'm going to go ahead and add TJ real quick here. He's just TJ tonight. Hey, TJ.
Hi, Dana. That was my
Oh,
impression
good
of
day.
Jay. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Jay is always well, I don't want to say excited, but he's animated.
No,
He's animated. Is probably the better way of
sure.
saying.
Those are words.
But but what is your like? I talked a little bit about my overall impression of these first six stories.
Yeah, there's some iffy episodes so far.
Yeah,
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 I
and
Super Batman nerd again.
yeah,
We were on another stream earlier. There was You, Me, in the Movies. I don't know if you ever watched their YouTube channel, but they do
I've
reacting.
heard of it, but I don't think I've ever gotten a chance to watch one of
It's
them.
husband and wife, and the husband's southernish. She's vaguely southern. They live on a farm. So I mean, um, yeah, they were watching. They have a lot. They have like three different channels. So they have like a video game channel. They got a
Wow.
movie watching channel, and they got a TV watching channel. They've been watching V. Um,
Oh, interesting.
they just did the first episode of the Final Battle.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
they did Return of the Living Dead today. That's what I saw.
Oh, cool.
I saw Super Batman on there and a couple other people. I was like, oh hey, everybody's going over the other.
Were they live on the stream or were
They
they?
they they broadcast their episode live, so you can chat.
Oh, cool.
And sometimes one of them are in the chat and they'll like interact and stuff. So it's sort of live, but it's not an actual live. Because you have
Okay.
to edit. You have to edit out the sound. You got to edit out the videos. You can't show. Because of all the
Right.
copyright stuff. So yeah.
Unfortunately. Well, speaking of, copyright stuff and the karaoke, me and Jay have been talking back and forth about it and he said, could we do a test run? Um
See, you get suspended. And if you don't, that makes it.
that's what Steve kind of told me. He was like, maybe somebody else ought to do this on their channel, somebody that's not got as much to lose, maybe, or something. But I don't want anybody to lose access to their channel, have their channel taken down.
I'd say
Um,
Corey Jaws, but he's not around anymore. So.
he probably wouldn't care because it happened to him so many times.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, I should say, Hope. It's happened to Hope so many times because uh, oh, Curly Jaws is now identifying as Hope. They are identifying as a female, so I need to remember that.
Really?
Yes.
Huh?
Yep.
Did, never would have thought that.
But I've been talking to Hope about possibly having them come on here and talk about whatever they feel comfortable talking about, and they said they would. Hope said they would, but I haven't gotten details worked out with them yet. So,
Well, good for them that they.
mhm. I don't know which one of my dogs is whining back there, but
Shut up!
TJ says hush.
Shut up, dogs.
Um, so, um, we'll go ahead and get this started with I like the first story. The first story, Mums, actually started out pretty good and kind of sort of followed the other stories that had come before it as far as style and stuff like that. Um,
There's an episode of Night Gallery that's like this,
that's like this one.
where this woman's on a. This guy wants to buy her land and she won't sell it to him, and she ends up getting killed, and then he buries her body, and her body starts coming to life with the plants and stuff around her. So it's basically, I'm gonna guess they watched this. They
Somebody
watched that episode when they wrote this. They wrote this one.
Yeah. Um, so this one, let's see. This was actually written by Greg Nicotero. It's based on a short story by Joe Hill, who's
Okay.
Stephen King's son,
Sure.
which that totally makes sense. Um, and it's directed by Rusty, and I'm going to massacre that name. Cundiff, or I don't know. Can you help me out there, TJ?
Let me read it. Let's see. Cundiff, something like that. That Cundiff. That I mean, I'm phonetically would they would yeah.
And so we have the typical, like, I don't guess he's a stepfather. I guess he's the natural father. I don't know if they really. I didn't recall them really explaining it, but he's one of those mean father figures who
No,
you.
they're that's his parents. They're both his parents.
Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't think they mentioned anything about a step parent or anything.
No, he's
His
just a
dad is just
asshole.
a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of those survivalist, conspiracy type of people blowing up stuff, and
And evidently,
he's a piece of garbage, basically.
yeah, piece of garbage, and we could, go into all sorts of other assorted names, but I don't think we will on here. But
Yeah, keep it clean.
but Batman has a question for you, TJ. He says, "Do you think the zombies could turn the humans into zombies by biting them and return the living dead.
No,
Yeah, because
I
that,
didn't get, I didn't get that from the movie.
yeah.
It's they're a little, they're not 100% with their lore.
Mm,
Hi, Blissful. They're all over the place. That movie's going to be on my when I get my start recording my stuff for YouTube. That's going to be one of the movies I'm going to talk about, because it's like it's very inconsistent. Many people just make up shit. Like they're like, well, because Trash was naked, so that's why she came back as a zombie. But that's not. But then there's a cop that comes back to life. Why does he come back to life? Why doesn't
yeah.
Suicide come back to life? Or Scuzz? They were all in the rain.
Yeah.
Also, if the trioxin doesn't work the same either, because Freddy and Frank get hit by the gas,
Yeah.
and it kills them and then brings them back. But how come the rain doesn't work the same with,
Yeah.
like with
Very, very
or like, yeah,
inconsistent if you
it's all over the place, and the writer's dead, and
yeah. So can't ask them,
So yeah, I don't think it's biting though. Like I don't think. See, I think Trash drowns or they smother her, because unless it's a plot hole, she doesn't have any bites on her at all. So I mean,
No.
then again, why is her face rotted and the rest of her body is just sexy? I mean, still sexy. It makes no sense. Like,
Because she's Linnea Quigley. That's
so,
why.
so Super Batman, there's no like set logic. Like Romero's, you die, you come back as a zombie. You're bitten, you come back as a zombie. That's
And you get shot in the head, and that's how, shoot them in the head, and that's how you
yeah,
take them out.
that was set. That's set up. That makes sense.
Hmm. They even, kind of make fun of the fact in the movie that they're not like Romero zombie movies, because Freddy says it worked in the movie. Why did it work now? He's carrying on like that, and
the wife on the YouTube channel, she hates horror movies. Like she hates them, but she'll sit through them because they get money for it. So,
oh yeah, there's a good reason.
but the husband's, he's a big horror fan, so I like when he's just like, she's scared and he's laughing and stuff. But they will. I was surprised that she got the funny stuff in Return of the Living Dead. I mean, she seemed, and that movie too is it's good at the horror and comedy, and it's very ebb and flow, and it works. Some things don't work all the time, because that's at any movie, really. I mean, this stuff that doesn't really work in The Shining, we're not going to get into that. But I mean, little things here and there. But in all movies, there's always something that doesn't work.
Oh.
But I mean, in Return of the Living Dead, I think the humor and the horror really work well, and it's like, and it all fits. It's not like it's like part 2 of Return of the Living Dead. It's all goofy slapstick, Three Stooges. I mean, when the zombies come back to life, they're falling in the graves, and they're like, whoops. Yeah. I mean, so. They're good at the horror looks as real as it could be in a fake movie. But anyway,
but
hope I answered the question.
I wanted to say hey to Blissful before I forget, and I'm gonna let TJ, because I've got I got to have my baby bottle, as Steve calls them. That's what he calls my Mountain Dews. But I got to go get a refresher on my drink. But I'm gonna let TJ start talking about mums.
Okay. Yeah, so we got the dad, the mom, we got the kid. The mom's getting the kid out of there to go on a trip to see their grandmother. The mother is very old, I guess. She hints that like she's probably older than the trees, that kind of thing. So she's quickly trying to get her son out of the house. We find out that she's trying to get her son away from his father, because the father's, like I said earlier, he's a survivalist and he's a conspiracy. He's just basically grooming his kid to grow up to be just like him. There's a thing with him and a buddy of his. They're gonna blow up some building or whatever. I forget what it is. And then there's a friend of the family who's there. So backtrack a couple of seconds. So the mother's trying to get the kid out of the house. the husband's there because he knew she would be there. She's sort of like a hippie flower child type of character, but remember, flower child that comes into play. Shut up, doggies. So yeah, she's trying to get him out of the house. The father catches them, says, "You ain't going anywhere with my son," and all that crap. He plants money on her and booze because she's also a recovering alcoholic, and she's been off the booze for a long time, and so she's basically being framed by her husband, so it'll make the son look like she's not, she fell off the wagon again. Mm-hmm. So they take her away because they're afraid that the story is that they're taking her to rehab because she's sick and they need to get her, but that's a bullshit story. Meanwhile, the woman's with the kid watching him, and she's like, "Oh, your mother's been through this again, and it's gonna keep happening, but I'll be here," and blah blah blah. Then we get a reference to Father's Day. There's a bottle of booze, a whiskey, and it's
is it Grantham's?
Pappy Grantham's whiskey. Yeah. And that fits with Creepshow, where there's the dialogue in Father's Day where Bedelia says, is it Bedelia? Yeah, wait a minute. You bootlegger, killer, murderer. Yeah, so she was a bootlegger. So this is sort of in the same universe, I guess. Mm-hmm. On the kitchen table is the ashtray.
I think I saw this.
Did you see it this time?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of references, but watch it if you want every single reference. We're gonna have all day. We'll be here all day naming all the references.
Oh my god!
There's an episode where there's a ton of references. We're gonna get to that shortly. But anyway, so they end up killing the mother. We'll make it look like an accident. Blah blah blah. Whatever. The son finds some bulbs, some plant bulbs that the mother had left there. Right now he doesn't know what's going on with the mother. And they decide, he decides, oh, I'm going to plant them. So when mom comes back from the rehab, there'll be flowers here for her. And the woman's helping him. I forget what her name is. I keep calling her the woman.
Beth, I think.
Beth. Okay. Oh, by the way, the mother's name is Bloom. That's another.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Also, she like her suitcase has flowers on it. They're pushing it in your face that this flower motif is in your face. Yeah.
And
so
Beth was like, "Come on already."
Yeah. It's like, okay, we get it. Calm down, TV show. So he's planting the seeds. He eventually cuts himself. He bleeds on the plant, and basically the mother sort of. I don't know if it's the bulbs or the blood or the blood in the bulbs, because the father brings the body back and buries her in the garden, and she basically comes back to life. Like I said, between the blood and the bulbs, it's very. Well, besides that Night Gallery episode, it was called what was it called? Green Fingers, and Elsa Lancaster was in it from the Bride of Frankenstein. Elsa Lancaster. There's something else that reminded me of. I can't remember. Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
The original. Because he sees when the plants start growing with the body and everything, they sort of also a little the Invasion of the Body Snatcher remake, because there's these plants and they sort of like, they're not pods, but they have like fur on them, kind of.
They get these little hair-like tendrils.
And there's almost this skull face on the flower, which is, like I said, it's the original Little Shop of Horrors type of reference. So yeah, so basically the mother is brought back to life. She's sort of a zombie, but she doesn't kill the son. She recognizes the son after she's sick. She kind of sucks up some of his blood, and she kind of does this like sexy. Well, not sexy, but she's trying to. I don't know. It's a cross between being creepy and sexy, I guess. I mean,
that would be a whole other show if it was too sexy.
Yeah, that the porn version of this episode will. So basically, he starts. He the kid doesn't kill people, but he sort of pushes them into dying. Basically,
Right.
they kill the girl. She gets killed first. Um,
Because she was in on it.
oh
She
yeah, I
told.
forgot. He's the son's in the house, and overhears the three of them talking about how,
Mhm.
oh, she said that my wife was going to leave and blah blah blah. Also, they're having an affair, which I thought that she was with the other dude, but she's not. She's
Yeah,
actually
I
having
thought
an
she
affair with
was
the
at
husband.
first. I was like, "Wait a minute."
So I don't know if it's more that maybe she's sort of like brainwashed, because
Possibly.
she falls into, like, she's crying 1 minute, and you think she's faking for the kid, but she seems kind of legit when she's upset. So I don't know if she's like, she's between being like brainwashed and also not, trying to fight the
Right.
yeah. So but anyway, she's still kind of a piece of garbage. So she gets killed. um the husband, he gets murdered. He's also abusive, and he's yelling at the kid and all that stuff. He gets killed by the wife, which was appropriate. And then he calls the other dude on the phone, and he's like, "Dad said to get over here. I don't know what it's about, but he said you better get down here." And then we like hear, I think we hear him show up, and we hear screams in the background. And
Yeah.
it ends with him grabbing the plants, which I'm guessing is his mother, and they're going off to visit grandmom, Mima.
Mhm.
They call her Mima. I guess that's a southern thing. Mima, is that?
Um, Steve uses that a lot. He says he actually calls my mom Meemaw. I'm like, why are you calling my mom Meemaw? Because, but anyway,
But yeah, and that's the end of the episode.
yeah, pretty much. Which this one was not bad, but
Yeah, this is more East. This is more EC comic, creep show.
yeah, because there's like a revenge scenario. Somebody gets their comeuppance, or several somebodies get their comeuppance, and so I like that, and I like the Stephen King connection because, of course, his son wrote the short story, so you've still got that tie in. Of course, you get to play find the ashtray in these episodes. Um, but the next episode,
I I I was watching this. I was like, Dana's not going to like this one. First of all, it's got young kids, and their
yeah,
their hip lingo,
using
and their music, their Beyonce, and because the main the singer is basically supposed to be Beyonce. Beyonce's all right. I know a lot of shit, so just
that's
I know
okay.
I know a lot of pop culture stuff. So Beyonce is called. They call her B, and her like fans of the Beehive, I guess, something like that. So this is a reference to Beyonce, this
Mhm.
singer. Beyonce, I'm getting a little like Apollonia, Janet Jackson, you know.
But TJ is correct. He knows me well enough now to
Yeah.
know which ones I'm not going to like. And I took a look at these kids and I was like, what is so sad though is this one was directed by Greg Nicotero. And I have respect for Greg Nicotero, but this was just not a good episode. It could have been. And I realize that we're in the now. We're not we're not back in the 80s. We're not, I understand all that, but kids today annoy me. They annoy the hell out of me. And these kids were no exception. Uh, and TJ's right with their hip lingo and all that stuff. I was just like, oh God, can I puke now? Because it was just, um, so we got treated to that first. And then the part, well, I'm gonna let TJ get more
Well,
into
let me
this,
do you
but
talk.
there's a certain part where we see that this singer becomes an insect, literally, and she's pregnant, and these kids want to sneak into the hospital because they want to see their their idol or whatever, and there's a guy with them. It's two girls and a guy, Carlos, and he just wants to mainly get pictures of everything because he says we can make money off these pictures. He keeps going on about that, and the girls just want to see this pop star basically.
Yep. Yep.
But what they find out is she's supposed to bring in her own doctors and stuff. They said that earlier on in the episode. But when we see the doctors and nurses and stuff, their eyes are glowing green. They've got some kind of light to them. And it's because of the sound that, what is her name? Is it Regina or what do they call
Yeah.
her? Okay.
Yeah.
The singer, she makes some kind of insect sound, and if somebody doesn't stop up their ears with cotton balls or something, their eyes will start glowing green and they're like hypnotized.
Yeah.
And so Carlos ends up, getting hypnotized, and they don't get any cotton balls in his ears, and he walks right up to the creature that Regina has become, and she just, some little thing comes out and spears him right in the head.
Finger, she's supposed to be like a wasp or a bee.
Yeah.
Monster kind of.
And I mean, it started out pretty cool when she first changed into
it's a very B movie, no pun intended, but a very B movie, 50s horror movie kind of creature. Invasion of the Bee Girls, the praying mantis movie, giant monster kind of creature.
Yeah.
Alien, yeah,
so even like The Thing a little bit, because
there's a bit of The Thing in there. Yeah, that's a reference. Yeah.
But you keep going along and you keep going along with this, and the one girl puts cotton balls in her friend's ears and her eyes go back to normal and stuff.
Yeah.
But here's the twist.
The twist, yeah,
the girls are gonna get away, you think, at first, and then the other girl is like, no, I thought you were her number one fan. I guess you're still number two. And she basically allows her friend to be consumed by the baby, one of the babies.
Yeah, she goes, Regina promised I could babysit and take care of the children for her and stuff like that.
Yeah, and there's this thing that's looks like half maggot, half caterpillar, half, I don't know. It's some weird.
Yeah, there's a hint early in the episode where the friend Deborah, I think her name's Deborah. She's like, "Oh, I went to a concert and you didn't because I'm a big fan. I'm the biggest fan. I went to the concert and you didn't." And then later on, and then she's like, "It changes you, seeing her live. It's not like listening to her albums, which is a setup for her end character." But then I'm like, so was she possessed before? Then again, why was she? Why did the cotton balls matter at all then? If she was already like she rips them out of her head and then she gets the eyes going. I was like, wasn't she always? If the hint is that she was always already possessed by
maybe it was some kind of low level possession, and that the closer she got to Regina, it got worse. Or
either that, or it was a big plot hole and they didn't really fill it in.
Yeah, could have been that too. We're trying to explain away a gaping plot hole. It's probably no.
So at the beginning, we basically talked about the episode. So let me just talk about a couple of points. Mm-hmm. So at the beginning, the three kids are smoking pot in the girl's bedroom. Guess what? They're finally using the ashtray for its purpose. They're actually using it for the pot, which I was like, oh, good. They're finally using the ashtray for ashes. That makes sense. And then the mother, I forget whose mother it is. Oh, it's Deborah's mother, works at Haddonfield Myers Hospital, which I
Yeah,
thought was
exactly.
it's Halloween reference, duh, you know.
They gotta beat us over the head with it.
It was cute. It was cute.
Mm,
So that's how they sneak into the because Regina's there. The hospital gets kind of closed off the first couple of floor, the top couple of floors or whatever. So
mm,
they have a key card they steal from the mother. Um, also, there's a lot of it's not the greatest episode, but I like the kind of even though like you said they're kind of bashing over the head. There are some cool like references before it gets too crazy. Like the Trinice is the girl that ends up having the headphones in her ears, which is why she doesn't end up getting possessed right away.
yeah.
And she says, what does she say? She her mother calls her. It's like, oh yeah, we're going over blah blah's house, and it's like she just doesn't trust me. And he's like, and the kid Carlos is like, we're gonna break into a hospital illegally. What do you? She doesn't trust her, and then she says a line. I wrote it down. Did I write it down? I wrote it down. I thought I did. Oh, she's like, oh, before my mother totally bugs out. I was like, bug, because later on
Yeah.
Regina turns into a bug. It's like, okay, but that's before it was like, okay. Oh, and then Regina's song is called "Hungry for You." And she
Yeah.
basically is eating people, and her babies are eating people to grow up and whatever. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think actually, as I'm saying it, maybe they were trying too hard with this episode. But if they kept like sort of a more of a B movie type of
Mm.
monster movie type of thing, I think it would have worked better than trying to do sort of like a I don't know if I wouldn't call it a serious story, but like they were trying to be less goofy than the premise is, which is like,
Mhm.
okay, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, this wasn't like the first episode. I think was really good. This one was like, the
Yeah.
acting was okay. I mean, the kids were good at playing annoying kids,
Yeah, they were good at playing annoying kids, there's no doubt about
and then
that.
everybody else was a zombie, or Regina was until she turned into the giant bug monster. She basically was screaming because she was birthing some grub worm
Yeah,
babies.
grubs.
Yeah. So yeah.
Uh,
So that was
so
that.
so if we move on to the next one, I really, really wanted to like this one. I really,
Skeleton.
really did. But the reason why, the
Okay, let's
more
see
and
what your
more I
reason
got into it, was because these were the type of horror fans and collectors that are those trite, obnoxious asshole types. And I was like, oh, no, no. Why couldn't they have had, I guess maybe the story wouldn't have worked if they had had normal fans, normal collectors, who were
Yeah,
just passionate about what they did.
this story is about obsession, so I think they have to be really the worst of
The worst
fans.
of that kind, yeah.
Um, yeah, I did like seeing all the cool. I'm gonna guess those were actual props from.
It appeared to be. I mean, if they weren't, they were pretty damn close.
They had. I know what I thought was cool. The license plates. Did you notice the license plates on the wall?
I did not. I missed that.
It was a Christine license plate, and there was Evil Dead license plate.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll
Um,
have to go back and see that. And I liked all the homages
yeah,
to different horror films and
a lot of
TJ.
Creepshow homages, just like
Yeah.
we
And
get it.
psycho homages and
That was a good scene. I like that
yeah,
scene.
that was.
That should have been what the Psycho remake would look like. I like that better than the Psycho remake scene.
You're right. Exactly.
Um,
But I'm gonna see if my dog's ready to come in, but I'm gonna let TJ take the reins on uh, skeletons in the closet.
yes. So we got this guy who owns we were saying this guy owns memorabilia, not a shop but more like a museum. Um, like I said, he's got stuff from Evil Dead and Creepshow and Halloween and um, he's got something out of the he's got Tales from the Crypt, the original movie, stuff from the original movie. They have, if anybody remembers the zombie Grimsdyke in the Valentine's story, he's got, Peter Cushing, right? It was Peter Cushing who was in that. So they got the Peter Cushing zombie in the background, and it was cool. They had Michael Myers mask and the knife, and they had the Creepshow creep, and then they supposedly had a skeleton from the Dawn of the Dead basement scene.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was legitimately that. I think Nicotero owns the Creep, right? Doesn't Nicotero own the Creep? Or
Seems like he does.
Or he at least, I know he restored it.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's like stuff. There's like skeletons from Raiders of the Lost Ark and stuff. Anyway, and I think it was Poltergeist. Yeah, there's Poltergeist. It's like the rich woman corpse that comes out of the casket, and she has all the jewelry and stuff like that. People know.
Yeah,
they've seen Poltergeist. So anyway, this dude owns this museum. His girlfriend Danielle is, sort of his like guard dog, basically. There's a scene with these like two like, I don't know, millennial hipster dude.
Yeah.
His girlfriend.
They say everything sucks and
everything's stupid. They're touching stuff, and she's like, "Don't effing touch things, you effing MNFers," and
right.
She's like the worst. She's like the guard dog for her boyfriend, who's the guy that owns the place. And then there's like a third guy who's just sort of like he acquires some of the stuff for the museum. And we learn about his dad started collecting skeletons and stuff. So supposedly the skeletons that, like I said, the Creepshow stuff and the creep and all that stuff was stuff that his father collected or had collected at one point, and that he had to sort of get back. And there's also a thing where he's the owner is trying to get other memorabilia.
Mm-hmm.
He's losing all these auctions to this guy called the hell was his name?
Bateman, I think.
Bateman.
Mm-hmm.
And Bateman was we find out was sort of a rival of the kid's father, who was outbidding him on stuff and whatever. And we get this older guy who comes to the museum after hours, and he's looking around and stuff like that. And we find out that he's Bateman. It's played by James Remar.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, he looks old. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He's got like white hair and a ponytail.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Stan Winston or any of those. Or I'm thinking Stan Winston. There's a big pumpkin. I was thinking Pumpkinhead too. There's a Pumpkinhead there. Pumpkinhead replica. There's like the Evil Dead 2 dagger.
There's a Michael Myers mask.
Yeah, there's a knife.
There's a Jason Voorhees hockey mask, and
there's a Tingler from the Tingler in one of the cases. I thought was cool. That was like a lot of stuff is cool. They had
and the ashtray is in there too.
Yeah, the ashtray is cool. Like, yeah, they show the ashtray like on a shelf. It's lit. It's you can see. Like, right. We get it.
You can't miss it.
Yeah, I like the better ones. I like the one they hide them. It's more fun to try to find them.
Where they're like Easter eggs, you got to find them.
Yeah. They have Captain Kirk's chair, which I thought was cool. So it's not just horror. It's like memorabilia, movie memorabilia. It's mostly horror, but it's that's the best part of the show, is just looking at the stuff and pausing.
Yeah, I think so.
I know what that is. I know what that is. I know what that is. Oh, there's a mask, and I think it's John Carpenter from Body Bags.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Part of the face is sort of like pussy and stuff like that, but the other side looks like the character he played. And it's with some other stuff that like kind of goes with it too. Like Evil Dead stuff, because Sam Raimi makes a cameo in Body Bags and all that. Anyway, the guy realizes who James Remar is. James Remar wants the creep back, and he's like, "I'm not going to give you the creep," and he's like, oh yeah, well look at this, and he shows them um, pictures. So those skeletons. So he's gonna unveil his big collection, and that's where there's all these curtains, and Raymond pulls the curtains down, and then we see all the skeletons, and that's where we learn the Creepshow one, and he's like he's explaining what they are, and we find out that they're real skeletons, and the guy's like, well, that's what they did back in the day. They used real skeletons, and he goes, oh yeah, and then he was showing them pictures, and it's the dude robbing graves and using the corpses to rebuild and make the displays. And he's like, oh crap, we're caught.
Mm-hmm.
So you think, that's the end of the episode. No. So the girlfriend, one of the memorabilia things she has is these knife shoes from one of the James Bond movies. I forget which one it was from.
Mm-hmm.
And she does this roundhouse out of the blue. I'm like, where did she learn karate all of a sudden? She does this quick roundhouse kick and slices Raymar's throat, and he bleeds out on the floor. And I'm like, what? She does martial arts? Okay, sure.
And they just seem to come out of nowhere, I felt like, too.
Well, at least she wasn't Asian, because that would have been like so cringy if that was like, so she knows kung fu. That's so bad. But they didn't do that, thank God. All right. Anyway, so yeah, they're like, what do we do? What do we do with the body? We got to figure out what to do with it. So we see how the dude has been stripping the bodies, have been stealing from the cemetery with. We don't get to see it. We only get to see it through the comic book panels, which I think this time it worked.
Yeah.
The other times when they're using the panels, I know they're just doing it to save money, but these look cooler. I think they look more like a horror comic, more like a horror comic now than like a 50s horror comic, because they're very bloody. Excuse me, because they show ripping the skin off and boiling the bones and stripping the bones and all that stuff. So it's very clinical. So I kind of like that part. And then he uses the skeleton in a display, and the skeleton still has the ponytail.
He does.
If you scalped and took all the skin off, the ponytail doesn't attach to the skull. I'm like, okay, this is extra goofy now. It was goofy to begin with, but that was just like, seriously, did you really do that? I mean, anyway.
One of the props, though, that we didn't talk about that's going to make an appearance towards the end of the episode is the Phantasm Sphere.
Yes, I forgot to mention the Phantasm Sphere. So, they think, okay, we got away with it. Oh, by the way, one of the skeletons that he used is his dead father. That's another one.
Yeah, he says, that's Pops up there. And she's like, you didn't,
Yeah. So, I think he goes to do something. The girl goes to take a shower. The other dude comes back. He ends up getting the skeleton. It's very Ray Harryhausen, which I think that worked because we know it was an homage to the Harryhausen and to the Jason and the Argonauts by way of Army of Darkness, because Army of Darkness was basically doing the Jason of the Argonauts type of stop motion stuff. So you can forgive it in this because it's a memorabilia. The whole episode is basically about movies and stuff like that. So, so the corpse comes back to life to get revenge on his murder. He throws the sphere at the dude.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the sphere, it's the one with the drill that, in the first one that drills the zombie dude in the head and whatever. And then, the blood bursts out and everything. And it's like, so it works? Because you see the drill working. I'm like, I guess it's supernatural, or does it actually work? I'm like, we don't really learn anything, but it's like, okay, but it's cool. It's a cool scene. And it's like, oh, I remember that from the Phantasm movies. Okay. Then we have an homage to Psycho with like I said, the girlfriend's taking the shower, and they do it exactly like.
Yeah, it goes to black and white.
It goes to black and white. She does the same movements with what, with the and the all the Janet Leigh isms. It's a little different now. There's the skeleton comes, but it's got like the Norman Bates' mother's like wig on and stuff like that, and it starts stabbing her, and everything else plays out like the Psycho scene. And then the dude finds her, and he's like, "Oh god!" And then he has like basically has a knockout, drag out fight with the skeleton, with Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
He has the chainsaw from Part 2, supposedly that Dennis Hopper used. James Remar shows, because when James at the beginning when James Remar is like going, "Well, I got this. Well, I got this." No, they're measuring each other's dicks basically. Is what
Yeah, right.
like, I have this memorabilia. Well, I have this one. He's like, I have the. Oh yeah, you have the chainsaw too? That's a bunch of crap. That movie sucks. I have the original chainsaw.
The Gunnar Hansen.
Gunnar Hansen's blah blah blah. Like, okay, all right, now we get it, dudes. All right, yeah. No. It's not nice. Like, it's not like when Dead Pit and all those guys are showing their Blu-rays and shit. No. This is like, we don't like each other, and we're gonna show how much better one person is than the other. So anyway, he finds her dead body. He has the fight with the skeleton. He ends up winning, but not before he's about to get killed, and then his dad's skeleton comes to life, saves the son.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's the next day. Everybody's coming in to look at all the props, and it's very successful. He has now made. So throughout the episode, he's called his girlfriend his Mona Lisa, like the most important thing in his life is and then at the end, he turns her into a skeleton version of the Mona Lisa.
And basically, French kisses her, and I'm like, what?
She's now every corpse comes back to life, I guess. and then he's like, "This is my Mona Lisa," and like the two goofballs from earlier come in, and they're like, "What's the Mona Lisa?" I'm like, okay, you don't know what the Mona Lisa is? Come on, I mean, you have your damn cell phones. Look it up on
right.
Twitter.
Yeah,
and yeah, like you said, he's practically making out with the corpse zombie of his dead girlfriend, and it ends. Yay! Glad it's over. Yeah, I was a little, like I said, I like the memorabilia stuff.
The props and all the memorabilia, the homages, I like, but the rest of it, no. I was like, Craig Nicotero, what are you doing here? And he did part of the story, him and John Esposito.
Yeah. I like the actors. They did good at playing their roles, but it's just there wasn't much there that was exciting or interesting.
They were such asshole roles, though. I didn't like.
Yeah, I mean, but they were good at playing assholes. I'm sure they weren't. If they were, I don't think James Remar is really like that. I don't think Have you ever heard anything bad about James Remar?
I haven't. No.
All right, so.
Batman may have.
Why, did he say something?
No, I'm just saying sometimes Batman, and I'm not making fun of you, Batman, but sometimes he says he heard, from a good source that so-and-so was not a very good person. But
I wish they put the Meet the Applegates on Blu-ray. I would love to.
Yeah.
I love that movie. No one ever talks about that movie.
Yeah, they don't reference that movie.
It's got Dabney Coleman as. Well, we might do it. We should, if we ever find it, we should do a watch along. I don't want to spoil the people who haven't seen that movie.
Right.
I like his character in that; is hilarious. And Stalker Channing is in it. She's pretty good in that. It's like a John Waters film ish, like one of the later John Waters films. Not the bad ones, like the later ones before they weren't as good as like more like Serial Mom type of in that type of vein. But
Blissful says that would be a fun watch along. If I don't own it, but if I could find a way to watch it, I'd be willing.
I know it's on YouTube. I think it's on YouTube.
Is it on
was
YouTube?
At one point. Well, I'll look later. But anyway, yeah.
So I think me and TJ were similar on this.
I was getting annoyed. I'm like, okay, you know about horror movies. Calm down. It's like, all right. They're like the geekiest, most annoying geeks.
Yeah, they were annoying and geeky.
Yeah.
Which was a bad combination.
Yeah. Like I would scroll past their TikTok if they were talking on.
Exactly. So the next one is familiar. This one's directed by Joe
Oh yeah, I don't think
Lynch.
I've seen anything like it before. Get it?
Yes.
I know. See, you know when not to listen to me. Okay.
But I will say that the creature in this one looked like a sadistic version of Groot. Did you see that,
It
TJ?
looks like one of the Conjuring
Well, yeah.
creatures, which there was the one that's yeah, the Conjuring demon, the one that the Annabelle one, the one that moves Annabelle around. You see him in the background. He looked like that one with the horns and the. Um, I like this one was better, definitely better than the last story, but like, uh, but well, I'll get into the like. I didn't like the main character. Like, speaking of this guy, this asshole character is
The lawyer or
no
whatever.
the rich guy, the billionaire.
Oh, that. Oh, I'm getting. I think I'm.
Oh, did I miss? No, wait a minute. Yeah, wait a minute. Oh, did I? No, wait a minute.
mm,
I missed one. Wait a minute. Okay, I
Am
forgot
I
the.
getting confused or?
No, I think I did.
Yeah, because I think the
That's right.
one
I'm
you
sorry.
said
I was already on the third episode. I'm sorry.
you were on the last whatever that
Yeah, I
is.
clicked off the thing too soon.
This is the one about the lawyer
I
and his
liked it until the
girlfriend.
ending. The ending pissed me off.
You didn't like the ending.
No.
I'm curious to not
What did you
know about
What did
this
you think
because
about the episode?
what did I think about as a whole? I actually, as far as characters, I like these characters better than the characters in the last one.
Yeah.
Even though I understand, like TJ said, why they had to be the way they had to be, but
Yeah.
these were more toned down, but they were still kind of the. I guess she was an artist.
Yeah.
The attorney's girlfriend
Fawn.
was a, I
She's a
guess, some,
goofy, dumb. She's like a dumb blonde type of character.
yeah, kind, yeah,
She's a dumb artist, like in
uh,
contrast with him because he's a lawyer.
right.
Um,
But she wants to. They go out to eat. They have a nice dinner, and then she wants to go see a psychic
yeah.
and
She's
have her
the girl from
appointment.
VHS who turns into the monster and kills all the frat kids.
Oh, okay, okay.
Um, which I think she's better in this. Didn't we talk about what was she in the last thing? We talked about her in something else recently, didn't we? Oh, she played the in the one with Justin Long. She played
Oh,
the double that was supposed to be the actress from Horror Express. Oh, I guess they got her twice. I didn't realize. I didn't realize. I just realized that.
yeah,
Oh, they got her in twice. I guess they're like, oh, we want you to come back and play another
yeah.
role.
You were so good before. We're
Well, she's
gonna.
barely in that, but like this one, she actually has a character. She's not just playing somebody.
Is that Hannah Fearman?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's a lot better in this too. Like I thought she was like German or something like that, but maybe she's not. Is she? Yeah, she's from England. She's British. Okay.
But this
Oh,
creature that we're talking about here, do you think he looked like a sadistic Groot?
now I can't remember what the creature looked like.
You remembered what the one
I
from
remember
the
what the other one
other
looked
one?
like. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I
Creepshow.
thought it looked a lot like Groot, only it was really dark and really sadistic.
Well, it was a son of a bitch, wasn't it? Um, I wonder what the hell did it look like? Boy, that was like I watched that episode like last night too.
Uh, I
Um,
watched it today, so I should be,
what the hell does this thing look like? It's not familiar to me because I forgot what it looked like.
and we don't see a picture of it, do we?
No.
My little booklet here.
Oh, that's right. It had some cool claws. what the hell is it? Monster. Hello. Because they're smart though. They keep the monster in shadow. That's why it's hard to. First of all, it's hard to find him in this episode because he's sort of in the background. Like he's not fully out there, which I think definitely helps in a monster movie. Um, no, it's got fangs and stuff. I don't necessarily. I never thought it was Groot.
Maybe it's just me.
And it's got like long fingers. I guess that's sort of Groot like.
I thought like the shape of his head and stuff kind of.
Yeah, it has like horns and stuff. Hmm. Anyway, yeah, I can't find a good picture of the damn thing.
Blissful's telling you not to confuse yourself, TJ.
Yeah, that was from a few minutes ago. Oh wait a minute, yeah, it comes up behind this guy. I mean, I guess the head is sort of like Groot. Yeah, the face isn't. It's one of
No,
those fanged demons with the skeleton indented nose hole and the sunken eyes. Yeah, it's your generic demon. Yeah, like I was saying, I'm glad they kept it in the background because it's not it's an okay effect. It's just not something you need in the light, and it's nothing different and new.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, yeah, it's on there. I guess we start talking about the episode, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we got this dude and his girlfriend. They're out on the town. They have dinner. They decide to stop at. The girlfriend says, "Hey, we should go to this um, fortune teller place and learn our fortune." He's like, "Oh, is it open?" And I'm like, "Yeah, these places are always open, no matter what time of day.
Right.
Late night, early day, morning, mid afternoon. All these tarot places are always open." So we get this guy, this kind of spooky dude. He's devil like, but he's not the devil like in
Right.
like the one with the bugs. He's not like that guy. But anyway, so he's reading the fortune of the girlfriend, but he slips the dude a note, and he's like, "Something followed you in here."
Yeah.
So basically, there's this demon that's attached itself to him, and it starts like screwing with his life and stuff, and he's getting scared. His girlfriend's like doesn't believe him. She sort of believes him, but she doesn't believe him. I think she's like one of those. She wants to believe something supernatural is happening, but she really doesn't believe it because she really has no evidence. So she's sort of messing with him a little, and screwing with him. And he's like, "Hey, cut that out now. I'm serious."
Right.
But there is something trying to take him over or take over his life or whatever. Because the guy's like, "Oh, it attaches itself to you, and it wants a vessel, so it'll kill somebody, and it'll take their body, and it'll possess them, and it'll stay with you. It'll stay with you forever, basically." And so he's trying to figure out how to get rid of it. And the guy's like, "Okay, you gotta get this." So we're playing Mousetrap. You know the game Mousetrap. You're gonna get this box, and somehow he has to suspend it. He has to suspend it to the ceiling of his apartment, so it'll come down when the demon goes after a little trinket he leaves in the middle. It's like one of those old traps from the Looney Tunes cartoons.
Right.
This is where they kind of lose me. I'm like, okay, that's a little goofy. First of all, when they said the guy at the fortune teller dude is like, he's all about the money. He's like, "So I take all major credit cards."
Yeah.
So later on, when he's like, well, you have to buy this big crate, and I just happen to have one. And the guy goes, yeah, I know. You take all major credit cards. First of all, I thought he was going to get the crate, was going to be from the episode The Crate.
Yeah, that would have been cooler, but they didn't do that.
Yeah, it was just like one of those crate boxes, the
But
word.
he does do the thing where it's like the Creepshow movie where you see him toppling the crate into the water.
Yeah. So at first the fortune teller dude gives him this trinket. He's like, something made of pure joy and love attracts the demon. So I'm going to give you this pendant that my I'm going to guess his dead sister made for him. Mm-hmm. Usually they're dead whenever they give somebody something, especially in these horror movies. It's the parents and the family are usually dead when someone's like, here, this is from my sister and blah blah. So
exactly.
The demon ends up tricking him, steals the pendant because it makes the sounds, and he thinks that his dog had gotten trapped in the trap, but no, it's the demon pretending to be the dog, and then the demon gets out and also takes the pendant with him because the demon thrives on the goodness of whatever. So earlier on, when they were having dinner, the girlfriend gave him this lamb. She's a sculptress, whatever. She's whatever. She sculpts shit. She's very Demi Moore from Ghost.
Yeah.
They don't have that. That would have been great if they threw that scene in there, but I don't think it would have fit. But anyway,
probably not.
So she had given him this little lamb that she made for him, and he uses that to try to trap the demon. This time, he makes sure he knows where his dog is. He video records it so he can see what happens. He hears the noise. He's all right. I got the demon trapped. Oh, the demon's using the girlfriend's voice, and he's like, "You're not in there. You're trying to trick me again. I know you're not. I know you're not my girlfriend." But then he tries to call her. She won't answer her phone, and she's crying. She's like, "Give me a please. What's going on? What are you doing? Blah blah blah." Basically, he's convinced that it's the demon messing with him. So, like you said, he locks the demon up in the box. He puts it on the back of his truck. He goes to this lake or whatever.
Uh-huh.
He rolls the crate into the water, and it's slowly sinking. Very Norman Bates, waiting for the car to sink. He's just like, I'm surprised he doesn't have popcorn, just like waiting for the car to
yeah, some of those circus peanuts or whatever.
It wasn't this kind of episode, so that wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
But, and yeah, he ends up drowning the creature. But guess what? It was his girlfriend. She is now dead, and now the demon has a vessel to possess. He possesses the girlfriend, and all of a sudden she's got these big like eyes that look like, I don't know, like diamonds or whatever. These weird whatever. And
I did like the ending scene of this episode, though.
Yeah, I was from trapping the girlfriend up until the crate homage. I was like annoyed because I'm like, first I was like, would she be stupid enough to crawl underneath the box? That's the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, no, of course she's not that stupid. And it is the demon messing with him. And then I was like, I'm still annoyed. I was just like, I don't like this. It's just like, because I noticed she was really in there, and then she's ended up going to get killed. And I was like, I didn't like that they went that way with it, but I guess because he's not. Look, this isn't a comeuppance story because no one's really evil.
Right.
He's not. It's not like he's like an evil lawyer that only helps murderers and rapists and stuff.
No, they don't really even get into what type of lawyer he is.
And then like the girlfriend's fine. She's a little too like flighty and goofy, but I think she doesn't deserve what happened. It's just like, I guess I'm getting too much into like my emotions and the making of the episode, but. As far as a viewer, I was sort of annoyed. And then I was at then when we find out the ending, I was like, okay, it makes sense that the demon would do that. But then again, there's no real like setup that the demon can teleport people into objects. So I was just like, eh. There's only so many times I can go, well, it's a horror movie and there's horror movie logic. But
Yeah, there's only so many times you can do that, especially in an episode.
yeah.
It's not even a movie; it's an episode.
So it ends with the girlfriend being all creepy and like, oh, she's practically licking his face. And it's like, I'm going to be with you forever type of.
Yeah, she says something about "I believe you now." Is that what she?
Yeah. Of course you do because you're dead.
But I like that. That was probably one of my favorite parts of that.
Yeah, once I got over my pissed offness, I was like, okay, I like the ending's okay.
But I didn't mind that one. I guess that was the way I was with the majority of them. I didn't mind them. Some of them were a little bit worse than others, and some had more annoying characters than others.
So far, Mums and that one are out of the 4 are my favorite.
Yeah. So if we move on to the last, how do you pronounce that? Is the T silent?
Subaraya.
Okay.
TS is Sue. TSU is Sue.
There we go.
So anytime you see Japanese spelling, TSU is Sue.
So
I waited for somebody in the episode to say it.
This is basically the one with the asshole art collector.
Yes, this is the one that I hated his character from the beginning. The episode kind of annoyed me because he's the main character, and I'm like, there's nothing redeeming about it.
Yeah, you can't get behind this guy at all.
Like the episode with the woman and who owned the business, she accidentally kills her girlfriend. That I understood because she's not malicious. It's just circumstance happened. This guy's just a total dickweed, and I'm like, I could care less what happens to this guy.
And I don't know the director, Jeffrey F. January, and it was written by Paul Denny or Denis and Stephen Langford. I don't know.
I'm glad you could pronounce that name because that was easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. What happened to John Harrison? What did he do?
Yeah.
He wrote, at least he wrote, I think he probably wrote the other one.
Yeah, he did. The Okay, I'll Bite one.
Yeah.
He directed it, he wrote it, and it was based on one of his short stories. So he did everything with that one. But now that I've been drinking this Mountain Dew, now I got to go to the restroom. So I'm going to let TJ start talking about this one with the asshole art collector, and I'll be right back.
Okay, so at this lawyer's office, this dude has been gifted a painting from his a relative who just passed away, a relative he didn't know he had. The guy was a painter. He painted very horrific things, like creatures eating people and really, bloody scenes. He also did like flowers and stuff, but the stuff that made money are obviously the gory horror stuff. So there's this curator of this museum, and she wants to buy the painting. Now it's in this sort of, they call it a crate, but it's basically in this like box that's shaped like it's a rectangle, so it's shaped like the size of a painting. And she's telling the story about Subaraya, so he was very, they call him evil, but more like evil because of what he created, and in his mind he was kind of this crazy writer, but then his stuff is worth so much money. Enter this rich butthead who's a billionaire who owns like some kind of software company. He comes in and he's like, "Hey kid, whatever your name is," and the kid tells him his name and he's like, "Yeah, whatever, I don't care what your name is." And he has a past relationship with the curator of the museum, this woman, and she runs a Japanese museum where they try to get all the Subaraya paintings. So the guy's like, all right, I'm going to give you. She's going to give him like a few $100,000. The billionaire is going to offer him like 200 million or something like that. 20 million. I think it's 20 million. And this kid's like, I was just going to work. I've been working at Best Buy, and now I'm like going to be a millionaire. What? So the rich dude comes in, and he's trying to buy everybody. He's got one of the most annoying things. He's got shoes without socks, and I hate that. If you're not wearing socks with your shoes, just you're just a horrible person. Anyway, so most of the guys, I hate guys who don't wear socks with their shoes. Anyway,
I came back to find TJ talking about people. What were you saying? Wearing shoes?
I hate people who wear no socks with their shoes. You're gonna get blisters, you damn morons. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, and then he has this woman with him who's not his secretary, but she's an up and coming artist, and he's basically bought her.
Yeah.
Where he pays her to. They basically have sex, but she paints and stuff. But she's an exclusive that only paints for her, only paints for him. And he had an affair with obviously he had a past relationship with the woman from the curator from the museum, and they had this little, I hate you type of, but in a I hate you, wink wink.
Yeah.
But we had sex, so I don't hate you that much. But and he basically is like, he's telling this kid, look, hey, you're not going to get any money out of these people. I'm offering you a lot. I'm offering you like life-changing award, life-changing reward here. And then he gets to a point where it's like, well, you didn't answer me right away, so now it's going to be 10 million instead of 20 million. So he's being a real jerk, and it's like, you're a billionaire. Like, you could sneeze out $10 million and nothing would happen. You wouldn't lose a day of sleep over that. So anyway, the kid's like, yeah, 10 million. Yeah. Because they're like reading a bunch of numbers off. And he's like, that's my bank account. And he goes, yep, this could be all yours if the price. And he's like, but you can't see the painting. And he's like, I can't even look at it. I was like, nope. So he ends up getting the painting. I guess the kid gets his money. We never see this kid again. He's gone. He's just a plot device. We don't even care about him the rest of the episode. So this guy's gonna have a showing in his apartment, this big fancy apartment that he owns. And he invites the curator and he's like, yeah, why don't you come and look at the painting and blah blah blah. And she tells the other girl, like, yeah, we'll see how long you last before he throws you away too, honey. So we're gonna have the big unveiling. So he sort of has the painting turned away from everybody, and only he is looking at it. Mm-hmm. And he takes off the thing, and he's like amazed because he tells the kid earlier that you either got the really cool one that's going to be worth a lot of money with the blood and guts and murder and stuff like that, or you got roses and pagodas and that kind of stuff, which isn't going to be worth anything. So when he takes it to his apartment, he's got all these people, and they're all like excited to see it. And we get sort of little flashes of it. We don't see it exactly, but we can see it's this monster. You can kind of make out the monster pretty well, I think. But so he's looking at it. He's like, oh my god, it's amazing and it's great, and everybody's like wanting to see it. He lights it on fire because he wants to be the only one who's ever seen it. And even the woman who's sort of like his squeeze there she's even like, you're an asshole. Why did you do that? We find out he just wants it for himself. He wants to be the only one to have ever seen it, so he's even more important than he is. He seems very guy who owns Twitter. I won't say his name, but who, like, I'm sure that guy has never given anything to charity, and he's never helped anybody except himself. Which is sad. If you're gonna be a billionaire, you have so much money that your generations after generations after generations are going to have money.
Uh-huh.
And give some money to people who need it, for crying out loud. You know, donate to hospitals and stuff like that. I mean, that's just sad. And there's very few people, billionaires, who do that.
Oh, right.
Most
Yeah.
of them are just money grubbing buttheads. Is basically what they are. And this is what this guy is. And he's just and so everybody's just like Fabergasted. Okay, I'll put the letters in the right order. I couldn't do it. Flabbergasted. There you go.
There you go.
over this, and everybody's like in shock. And he's like, "Okay, get out of my house now. I'm done with you people." He just wanted an audience there to see him burn the painting.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody leaves, and then he sort of starts seeing things. He's seeing the monster. Before that, he's talking to his girlfriend, and she starts drawing it. And she didn't see it, but she really draws exactly what the creature looks like. And he's playing with her, and he's like, maybe it looked like that. Maybe it had one horn. Maybe it had two horns. Maybe it had more teeth. Blah, blah. He's like being a real jerk off about it. So they have this discussion about how when he was young, his parents gave him anything. So you think, okay, here's we're gonna have the redeeming moment where he was poor and his parents died penniless. No, he was rich. His parents are rich. He got everything he wanted. He even got more than he wanted. He got more money. He even tells a story about how some guy's daughter was dying, and he needed to sell this vase or this whatever, and he wanted like $300,000 for it or something like that, and because he needed to pay for his daughter's operation. So the guy denied him the money, and then later on called him and said, "I'll give you that. I'll buy it from you, but I can only give you like $100,000." And the guy's desperate to save his daughter, and he's like, "Yeah, I gave him the $1,000, and like could care less about the vase." And she goes, "What happened to the daughter?" He's like, "I don't care."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I'm like, I hated him before. I despise him now. And it's like, now you're just waiting for him to get killed. And I'm so annoyed with him that I'm not even, the suspense is not getting to me. It's not really scary, but I mean, like, I don't know even if you're scared of stuff like this, if you're like me and you like get so, your empathy for hating somebody,
Right.
Empathy is the opposite of hate. But I mean, but still, it's like, you know what I'm trying to say. You have such a strong feeling for somebody, you're totally forgetting about, being scared or any trying to figure out, like if you're watching a movie and you're supposed to guess the killer, like if you're so pissed off about everything, you can care less about who the killer is. So I was like, just let this guy get killed by the monster. Then we kind of see the monster, and the monster's kind of cool, but it reminds me of like a Japanese monster movie where it's a guy in a suit. Have you ever seen the movie The Guyver?
I have not. That's another one I've heard of, but I haven't watched it.
So it kind of reminds me of that. I know I was watching the episode and I was like, oh, that's The Guyver. That's cool. So he sort of has this like samurai. He gets the samurai sword because obviously he's a rich guy. They all have samurai swords that are kept razor sharp. And he has a duel with the monster, and he ends up killing the monster. We find out the monster is actually possessed the Subaryu, and basically was keeping him in hell while while the demon basically manifested himself with the spirit of the guy. It's all this mumbo jumbo. The usual horror movie stuff.
Right.
He ends up killing the creature, and he sets Subaryu free from the torment. But of course, this is a horror Tales from the Crypt Creepshow, and he's got to get his comeuppance for being a piece of crap. So basically, the monster possesses him now.
Yeah.
But instead of being in torment forever, he impales himself on the same spear that he killed Subaryu with. And
Mm.
then it's the next morning. The cops are there, and they're zipping up his body in the bag. And his girlfriend's like, "Yeah, I left him, and I don't know what happened." And, yeah, just that's kind of how it ends.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
Oh,
I mean, did
I'm sorry.
you I was gonna say, did you like it at all, or did having this main asshole guy that you couldn't
He
get
was
behind?
really taking the interest in the episode out.
Right.
I sort of like the beginning part with the kind of the kid and being like kind of, he's not stupid, but he's some dumb kid who works at Best Buy. He's probably just got out of he probably he's probably in high school, and um, so it says he's the last relative, so maybe he has no family either. So I don't really know.
Right. So I've
Like,
been meaning to ask you, TJ, what have you been drinking tonight? It looks orange.
this is orange soda and Mountain Dew.
Oh, okay.
It's
Got
a mix.
There you go.
So
One of those suicide drinks,
yeah,
right?
it makes it. I mean, I like both of them separately, but it's like it kind of cuts the caffeine out of the Mountain Dew a little bit.
Mm.
Um,
I'm
but
thinking about taking some Mountain Dew later, and I've got some rainbow sherbet in the
oh,
freezer. I'm thinking about mixing the two up, making me a
that sounds
nice little dessert for later,
good.
as if I need more caffeine. But anyway, that's beside the point. But
But yeah,
yeah,
I the monster is what it's like I said, it's a Japanese monster movie monster. Uh,
yeah, it was just okay to me, I
yeah,
think.
it wasn't. Yeah,
Which brings us to the final story that we're going to talk about tonight is okay, I'll bite.
yeah.
Which, even though I think some of these spiders though were real, the small ones that were crawling around on
There's
the
a certain point where they were real. Yeah, but there
yeah,
was a certain point where some of them in the jars weren't real.
right, yeah.
Um,
But then even the bigger one that we're gonna see a lot near the end,
yeah.
even though I knew it obviously wasn't real, the way it was, ugh, it had those movements, and y'all
If you don't
know
like spiders, this isn't the episode for you. Yeah,
no, and I was like, can we stop showing the spiders? Because I know people are gonna think. I mean, they probably do think it's weird. I mean, I'm scared to death of spiders, but I don't mind snakes. I don't mind lizards. I don't mind rodents of any kind. I've had bunches of pet rats,
yeah,
you know, but there's something about spiders, the way they move, the way they look, how some of them are just, they're quick. I don't like that stuff. So if you were ever watching that stream, and I forgot how long ago it was. I was sitting here doing a stream by myself, and a spider crawled across my desk, and I went back like this
yeah.
because I was like, "Holy crap!" Um, but I can't stand spiders. But anyway, I did
And,
finish
and
watching
the
that.
Beyond is one of your favorite movies.
Yeah, well, the thing about the Beyond is when it really comes down to it,
Yeah.
some of those spiders, like the majority of them, are so obviously fake.
Well, yeah, the ones
They
from
look
far
like
away
paper mache or
where they
something.
just like, ooh, they're like up and down. They don't even like they're on a little stick. They're like a Muppet.
Right. And I like Kingdom of the Spiders, but that thing still gives me the heebie jeebies. I'm looking all around for spiders to be crawling around and stuff like
Arachnophobia, because they're like those thin spiders. Those are the
that.
tarantulas are okay. It's those
I
really
don't like tarantulas.
the thinner spiders aren't really like.
I don't like garden spot or what they call garden spiders either. Those things that when they spread their legs out, they're about yay big. One time, I got to tell this story about a spider. When me and Steve were dating, and I think it's when we were dating, and I was spending a weekend with him. We went to yeah, that's right, DJ. We we went to, I think, a wrestling show. I think we went to Dragon Gate Wrestling,
Uh huh.
and in Indianapolis, and we came home. And when we got home, I had to.
And you did some wrestling at home. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, we didn't do that. I think
That's
we were
the
too tired.
TMI 4. That's
But so I had to go to the restroom really bad when I got home because I drank a soda on the way home or whatever. And I went and I got sat down and ready to do my business. And I looked over to the side and there was one of them big garden spiders. And I was like, but I gotta pee. I gotta pee. And so I was trying to be as still as I could so that spider wouldn't come crawling over to me. And I finished. And then I said, Steve, he said, what? I said, get in here and get this thing. And he came in and he said, what is it? I said, the thing between the bathtub and the toilet. And he even went, I said, you get rid of that thing. I don't care what you have to do to it, stomp on it with your shoe or whatever. But Steve doesn't like to kill things, even if he's kind of it.
Steve, you ain't getting none if you don't kill the spider.
I might have said that. I don't know. But he wants to get like a plate and put a bowl over it and put the damn thing outside. I said, you're just inviting him to come back inside and bring us friends. I said, kill those damn things. But anyway, that's my little spider story. But we'll get into.
We'll go to Australia. They got like the giant ass, like.
I want to go to Australia and see the koalas and stuff like that. I don't want to see no damn spiders.
Wow.
But I'll let TJ go ahead and start talking about okay, I'll bite.
So we're in this prison. We got this. What the hell is his name? Excuse me. Elmer. Elmer's this guy. I guess he makes drugs for the.
He's a pharmaceutical guy.
Right, that's right. He's a pharmacist. He's an ex-pharmaceutical pharmacist. Medical whatever dude. He's in jail because he his mother was sick and paralyzed and dying and in pain, and he basically euthanized her. Because he loved her and he didn't want to be in pain anymore. So he's in jail for that, for murder, basically. I guess maybe it's not murder one. It's probably like, I don't know what they call the mercy murder. I don't know if it's whatever it's called. Anyway, so he's in jail for whatever.
Did they call it euthanasia of some sort? I mean,
I guess
I don't know if that's even the correct term, but you're being Dr. Kevorkian, basically.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's in jail for that, but he's basically making drugs for like the head security officer at the prison. There's another security officer. He's a nicer guy. He helps out the guy and whatever. But these other two inmates work for the jerk officer, and they're basically. He doesn't want to make the drugs anymore for these people, but he just wants to study his. So he has his spiders. He has friends are spiders. So he has these bunch of jars, and they each have individual spiders, and they all have names. And he treats them like because he has no friends in the prison. I mean, it's prison.
He treats them like they're a dog or a cat, basically.
Yeah. Meanwhile, and there's also this. We're assuming it's another spider that's in. There's this brick, in the stone wall, or whatever, a stone bowl or whatever, and it's a brick, and he pulls it out, and behind the brick is this giant spider. We don't really know how big it is because it's on the other side of the wall, and we don't know how big the wall is. So
you're kind of seeing it from behind most of the time, aren't you?
Yeah, like we're seeing it from the view. It's the spider POV basically.
Yeah.
We do see at one point where he's feeding it. He feeds the grubs to the other spiders, but this spider he gives like a big giant ass cockroach. And then this big like spider leg comes out and stomps on it and drags it back, and then it's the trail of.
And you're like, that's a big ass spider there.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, I wonder how big this spider is. So, he's getting beat up because he's not making the the drugs anymore, and the guy wants to hurt him, and then these other two inmates who were just supposed to be there to strong arm him. One night they start like messing with the spiders. He squashes one. Then another spider gets out of the jar, and it jumps at his eye, and it basically blinds him in one eye. So he gets taken to the infirmary with his buddy and the main officer dude, and then the other guy's like, "Oh yeah," they had like broke the dude's finger or whatever. So we get it. So the other guy, who is nice to Elmer, is like, "Yeah, I'll take it to the infirmary or whatever." Meanwhile, he's also like into ancient Egyptian folklore, rites, that kind of stuff, and he's been looking for some kind of some kind of spell, basically, and he gets it sent by some anonymous woman. Sends him this this like little scripture, and it has like little hieroglyphic. I'm bad with words tonight. Hieroglyphic words spelled out, because he can read it, because he knows all that stuff. Is he Egyptian? I don't. Nicholas Masua. He probably is. It sounds like. Yeah, there's no biography. I don't know what the hell his name is. Oh, he's in The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do. Oh, I remember him in that.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. Oh no, I want to see that Late Night with the Devil that's coming out. I want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I might go to the theater to see that. I don't know if I can wait. This Sunday I'm going to go see. Was it not Incantation? What the hell is that movie called? I think it's another possession movie. Well, now I'm gonna. What is it called? No, that's not it. All right, you guys have nothing else to do. Just wait. Immaculate. That's the movie. Okay.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I saw a bit of a trailer for it. It looked interesting. I want to see that. There's going to be a Q&A afterwards with the director. I don't know if it's going to be a live one or it's going to be one of those recorded ones, but so that should be cool. So yeah, I think you might. Yeah. Anyway, so he basically is trying to get revenge on, first of all, for his spider friends being killed, which is just funny saying that. And because they're gonna kill him too, for not making the drugs for the officer dude. So like I said, the spiders escape. And the guy gets taken. They both get taken to the infirmary. The warden comes and he's like, "Okay, we're gonna have to fumigate this part of the jail. Everybody here is gonna have to go off to the other two parts of the jail, while we fumigate and kill all these spiders." And of course, Elmer doesn't want his friends to die. So this is where he enacts his spell. Basically, we're not sure what the spell does. So basically, he becomes one with the spiders, I guess. So early on, when the one spider's killed and all the other spiders get kind of let out of their jars, whether the jars are broken or whatever, they all crawl into that hole in the wall with that giant spider. And then we don't see them for a while. And then when he starts doing his incantation, the small spiders come out one by one, and they all like two are up here on his chest and two are down like near his legs or whatever. And then the giant one slowly crawls out of there and towards him. And yeah, it's pretty good. I think it's all CGI, but I think they light it pretty well.
It's some good CGI. It's not that really bad.
All the money they save by animating the creep now, because except for in the skeletons in the closet, we actually get a cameo of the puppet.
Where is that where he's taking the
Yeah, he
selfie?
takes a selfie with the Creepshow puppet from the original movie, and he does a selfie, and then that's it. But like I said, from third season on, we just get cartoons for the creep.
Right.
I don't know if we have enough. I was surprised because I didn't know that was going to happen in the episode. So
Mhm.
they might show him up again, but basically all the other so far all the wraparound stuff that's animated. It's animated. It's not the live puppet. Which like okay. I mean, yeah, I guess save money. Maybe the money they save for that went to the spider. So
Right.
anyway, the spider comes out and it like its fangs start coming out, and then it goes after him, and then we hear the and then we cut to I forget if it's later that day, maybe that night or whatever. And the I just forgot what happened. The warden does the oh yeah the officer dude the drug dealer officer comes back, and he's looking for Elmer, and he's like, where are you? I'm gonna find you, you son of a bitch, and I'm gonna kill you, and blah blah blah. He is Southern, so I'm not like I'm
No,
not just using the Southern accent for the hell of it. So,
right.
because in these old prison movies, the head asshole is usually Southern. Usually,
Yeah.
like in Stir Crazy, the guy was it
Mhm.
who's the fat dude from
Mm.
Brian Dennehy? No, it's not Brian Dennehy. It's the other guy, right?
And I love Stir Crazy, and I can't even remember.
I can't remember. Anyway, so he goes into the cell. He's looking for him. Oh, and he gets a cobweb in his mouth. I wonder what that is.
Yeah.
And then he gets. Now here's where the effects betray the episode. And we said, oh, that CGI spider looked really good earlier. This stuff doesn't look as good in this ending scene.
Right.
So first of all, he gets his arms get tangled in the spider web, and it lifts him up, and he's not dangling or anything. He's just like
He's just there.
he's just there, and his hands are sort of going up. But
Yeah.
if he was dangling, he wouldn't be like he's like standing on a box basically,
Right.
and his hands are outstretched, and it's like this is kind of cheesy. And then the Elmer spider, he's now part of the giant spider, and it's like this bad CGI where it's like his head is attached to the back of the spider, but it looks like
Yeah.
it doesn't look like a head. It looks like a piece of paper that's like dangling on the spider. That if you shook it too hard, it would fall off. And I was like, it took me out of the killing the deer. But anyway, after that, the nice officer and the warden and some other people come, and they see him all encased in the cocoon, and his eyes have been dug out. Obviously, the spider's like eyeballs, I guess. So maybe it's a Fulci reference. The spiders and the eyeballs. I don't know, but
Could have been, yeah.
But yeah, and then that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, so the ashtray was in the warden's office.
Okay, so I missed that one. I caught some of them this time.
The ashtray in the last Subaraya was on the lawyer's desk, and it was used to hold his business cards, which I thought was funny.
Oh yeah.
And then the one with the crate with the demon and stuff with the girlfriend. It's on a shelf, and you only see the edge of the marble until he moves the book out of the way, and then you see the full thing. And I was like, oh, they're hiding it too. Now see, that's why I like it when it's clever, when it's like something like that.
Right. Whether they don't put it on a shelf like they did in the one episode and have a light on it, like ta-da.
But so the ashtray was in every episode, and so this episode was okay. Like I said, that ending part kind of took me out of it a little bit. So the characters are okay, but they're not really like
they're not standout characters or anything.
Even the bad guys are sort of like they're bad, but I mean, they could have been worse.
They're probably, well, I guess they were kind of generic, maybe.
Yeah, one of them just gets his eye. I mean, losing an eye is bad, but I mean, other
Yeah.
than that, like he didn't like, you know. And then the warden, not the warden, but the main officer jerk. He like, okay, sure, but yeah,
Yeah, this was just okay. These episodes were just okay. They were there, and they had entertaining parts to them. They had clever parts to them,
yeah,
and stuff like that. But wasn't really anything exceptional. So
yeah.
it could surprise me when me and TJ come back and talk about the last half of these
Maybe.
episodes. Um, we may be pleasantly surprised. They may get better. Um,
So it looks like
so
there's another animated episode coming up in episode 5, I think.
oh, okay. I guess I didn't realize that there was another animated one.
Because I have the Shutter. I have it on Shutter in the little square that shows you like some.
Oh, that's
The
right.
episode has
It
like
shows the.
yeah, it's a cartoon. So I'm like, oh, at least one of them is a cartoon. I don't know. I guess that's the money saver.
Oh yeah, I see that.
It's a woman with books.
It's
Yeah,
in
that one.
my
Yeah,
little comic book.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I hope it's not the same animation from the last thing that I did. I
That
still watch that,
you didn't like, yeah.
but yeah.
But and then when we finish season 3, I have one more set that's out. But is the 5th season out on Shutter, TJ?
Only
I
up to 4 right now.
4.
Yeah,
Okay, so 4 is the last one I have on Blu-ray. So we may have to stop for a little bit on that
until we
uh,
yeah.
until they put out another season. But we could probably come in with some kind of fill-in thing if it's going to be a few weeks, because you know people will miss us, TJ, if we don't come on here and do
I'll
something.
miss you, but
They'll miss you too.
what if we what if we pick a series that in between where we pick episodes from a series
Okay.
like
Yeah.
like a lot of the Freddy Nightmares episodes are not good, but maybe we could pick out what we can find of the best of the episodes.
Yeah. That
Definitely the pilot.
the pilot episode. Yeah.
That's almost a complete origin story, though. None of the other characters except for Freddy are in it because there's no Marge, there's no. Which that's the thing I didn't like about that episode. I liked the episode, but it's the whole. It's the backstory, but it's not because there is no Tina's parents, there's no Glenn's parents, there's no
Yeah.
Rod's parents, there's like none of the parents are named. It's just kind of like, I mean, I guess you don't need it, but it's just I didn't.
You just see this lynch mob of parents that's coming after Freddie, and they really have no association with the movie. But it is cool to kind of tell Freddie's backstory there. I always thought that was interesting. And actually, I think Chris, who was on with me and Jay last night talking about the first 3 Nightmare on Elm Street movies,
Yeah,
he said,
I saw like the last couple of seconds of it. I
oh, the last couple of seconds.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you were doing something important, TJ. And I mean,
I'm a life.
you got a life outside these streams.
I gotta work and eat and do stuff. Yeah.
There you go. Those are very important things.
Yes. It is.
But Chris was telling me, he said, you should really talk about the Freddy's Nightmare stuff. So he'll probably be thrilled if we do that, like in the in between.
But some of those episodes are terrible.
I agree. Some of them.
A lot of them are like there's like some of them are like 4 stories in one episode or 3 stories sometimes. But every once in a while they'll have like a sequel. I remember they would have a sequel episode where it was like a sequel to like 20 episodes ago. It's a sequel to that episode, or it's like a scene from something, and it's like that. It was at this house, and then yeah, some of them are, and then That's where I think the series came out after 4, and I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that was sort of the downfall. The start of the
Mhm.
downfall of Freddy was after 4, and I think this show kind of really made him, because he's the horror host. He's a goofy horror host, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, after the pilot, which is they have evil Freddy Krueger in the pilot. I mean, I think that's sort of, even though it's still campy, that the whole
Mhm.
series is campy. It was at least a little bit more horror than the rest of the
Oh,
series
yeah.
was. But I mean, yeah, I think that's sort of when
I think
it went downhill. And,
the wraparound Freddy Krueger stuff was what was the best part of most of those episodes, though.
yeah, but I mean, it was very goofy Freddy, and you know,
Yeah, it
at that
was.
point, Freddy was doing songs with the Fat Boys,
Yes, he was.
and there were toys. It was, I think I have the Talking Freddy somewhere. I got to find it. Um,
Did you have one of the talking Freddy dolls? Because that's
yes,
what I had.
yep. It's somewhere and put away. I got to find out where it is.
Well, mine is probably somewhere in this house.
Mhm.
I wouldn't doubt it at all that it's somewhere.
Yeah, my dad had it in his stuff. I'm like, that was mine. Why do you
Yeah,
have
hey, Dad, that's
mine?
oh man.
But yeah, it's like, well, I'm not gonna get into the whole. Did you miss some some movies that England was in? Because I think there was some other movies around the same time as 3,
Oh,
maybe.
oh, that I skipped whenever I
Yeah,
was
'cause
talking.
you just went right to the 3 Elm Street movies. I think there was a couple other movies.
Yeah, well, my intention is to go back and cover those.
Okay.
The reason why I skipped some of them, like I skipped the final battle because I don't own that one, but I'm gonna buy it on Blu-ray and I'm gonna go back and cover it.
Mhm.
And there were like a couple of other movies I think that were like North and South Book Two. I'm not sure how big Robert England's part is in it. And then there's another one too. But I thought, what the heck? I'll just put all the Nightmare on Elm Street or Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and we'll just have a Nightmare on Elm Street episode.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm. But I am going to try to go back and recover those. Um, I just, I don't know. I was trying to mix it up a little bit, but it probably did confuse people because they're like, wait a minute. There was some Robert England stuff that was in there that she didn't cover.
I know it's a little further down, but how far away from you is Leslie Vernon? Are you from that? You probably like a couple
Oh,
months
well,
away,
let's see.
2-3 months.
So I'm going to be covering V the Final Battle hopefully next week
Oh, okay.
and North and South Book 2. And then there's a movie from '86 called Never Too Young to Die.
I
And
that's a crazy weird movie.
is a crazy weird movie. I've never
It's got
seen.
Uncle Jesse from
Oh
no,
my
yeah,
god,
yeah, right. Isn't
John Stamos is in
John
it.
Stamos isn't John Stamos in that? Yeah, Vanity's in that.
Oh wow. Okay.
Um, um, Mr. Kiss. Gene Simmons is in
Gene
it.
Simmons.
John Lazenby. He was.
Wow, everybody's in this.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a TV movie, right?
I think so.
It's so so.
So I want to cover that one. A
Gene
movie
Simmons plays the weirdest character. I swear.
a one from '87 called Infidelity, and I'm gonna try to find the Freddy Krueger special from 1988 because I
Oh,
want to
okay.
talk about that. And then the week after that will be Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Nightmare on Elm Street 5, which a lot of people hate, The Dream Child,
I mean,
and then,
it's not great.
and then Phantom of the Opera. But let's see, where is
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
which
Phantom of the
one?
Opera.
Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
When am I gonna get to that one here? Let's see.
He's playing Donald Pleasance basically.
Yeah.
And Zelda Rubinstein is in that one too.
Hmm. Okay, Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. That won't be till like week 23.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a little while till I
That'll
cover.
be yeah. around Christmas time. No, that's not that far away.
But yeah, I will be covering it though. Hopefully.
Yeah, I heard you're not going to do the VTV series. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
It was not great at all. It was they no, it's weird. They were trying to save money, so they couldn't use the laser fires
Mhm.
costs like $500 a fire or whatever, so they couldn't. They had to limit the battles with the lasers with the guns, and then they switched to regular guns. So now all of a sudden, the laser guns were the only thing that could kill the visitors. Now that
Uh,
they couldn't use the guns because of special effects. So now regular guns, which never worked on the other two, the original and the final battle, now will kill them.
uh-huh.
They make that weird sound with their voice, not in the TV series because that costs too money to do other
Oh,
voices.
it costs too much money make
Yeah,
that
so
staticky voice.
I think any money that they had went to the Jane Badler's hair. If
Oh,
you notice in the TV series, all the villain women had the big '80s hair. It was like I was like,
yeah.
okay, what's up here? They had the one from Superman. Superman 2 was in it. Ursa.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of the visitor aliens, and it's like okay. Yeah, it was not great. And that was good too because I think if the series was successful, Robert might not have done the other movies because he might have been on the contract, the other Elm Street movies because he might have been on the contract
Mm-hmm.
TV show because the Willie wasn't a huge character. He was like in the main group of good guy characters. So
Right.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. So a lot I mean, there's still some interesting Robert England stuff coming up.
yeah.
And maybe some not so interesting stuff, but we'll make it, or I'll try to make it interesting to talk about.
Hey, who are those guys?
Blissful, I think North and South Book 2 is, I want to say it is Civil War era.
What was North and South 1 about?
Well, that was a movie my parents watched, and I wasn't really interested in. But what I do remember about North and South, the book one, I guess,
Mhm.
was that Buddy Repperton from Christine was in this as a soldier, and I was like,
Excuse me.
"What
Yeah.
the heck?" It was so funny. I was like, "That's Buddy Repperton."
You went from Patrick Swayze to him. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I forget the name of Robert England's character in book two, but I'm curious to see him in it, even if it is just like a one and done. You see him or see him in the background, because sometimes that happens. It's like even though by that time that was getting into the Nightmare on Elm Street stuff as
He was
well.
Willie and Freddie. I mean, he had
Yeah,
some kind of following at least.
yeah. I mean, I love the Willie character from V. I mean, when
Yeah.
I was a kid and first watched V, I didn't really even know who Robert Englund was at that point in time.
Yeah.
But going back and rewatching it and refreshing it for me, I was like, "Oh yeah, I do remember him." But I just didn't make that connection. And I remember when I first found out that Robert Englund was Freddy Krueger, I was reading some kind of magazine article and they showed Robert Englund, young Robert Englund on there. I was like, that's the dude that plays Freddy. I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then you go back and watch things like Eaten Alive where he's Buck and
Well, that's why people are like, oh, he went from this cute guy Willie to the child murderer, but Buck isn't the
yeah, Buck's
most,
not too
he's
savory.
not clean, and he's not squeaky clean,
We
and
all know what Buck likes to do, right?
yes,
So
he sort of tries to help before he gets killed, but I mean,
he
he's
does. It's almost like they try to redeem Buck a little bit
yeah.
before he gets taken out.
Mhm.
And I love hearing Robert Englund talk about wrestling with that rubber gator or whatever, or crocodile rather. He says that was so ridiculous, but he tried to make it work, but it was pretty hard. Um,
Oh, question. What's worse? Evil Dead 2013 or the Elm Street remake? Now, let's see if we're going to still be friends after you answer me.
oh, okay. As much as I despise that Nightmare on Elm Street remake and will never see it again,
Yeah.
I'd have to say Evil Dead 2013.
Mm.
Just
All right, we're
because.
still friends, but I hate that. I hate the remake so much. It's so.
I know, I understand, TJ. Yeah.
It's not good, and it's not even trying. I think.
No, I agree.
Like they hired a girl who doesn't want to be in the movie. If she didn't want to play Nancy, she did not want to be in that movie, and you
And
can
it
tell by
shows. Yeah, it
you can
shows.
tell by that performance. And they should have just made Chris the final girl, not ripping off. And they were ripping off Psycho, having her die halfway or a third of the way through the movie. That made no sense. She should have just been the main girl. Not even the kills weren't exciting. They was just boring. They tried to recreate the Tina kill.
And they did so miserably.
That's like one of the best kills out of the entire series is the Tina kill.
Yeah.
Though, speaking of annoying things that annoy me sometimes, I'm like, so they think Rod killed Tina. Meanwhile, there's blood up the side of the wall and on the ceiling and down the other side of the wall. How did they think he did that?
Yeah, is he suddenly magical? And then he goes back to being Rod again?
How does he kill himself? Because how did he string up the bed sheet? Anyway.
Yeah, that's more of that horror movie logic that.
But I mean, yeah. But Tina's kill is like one of the most, sadistic.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny Depp's is just blood. Like you don't really see him get killed, so it's not as it's not as visceral as the blood's just like gross and stuff like that. But I don't know.
It's interesting, but the Tina kill is just like in your face, like raw. You're like, holy crap, while you're watching her roll up the wall and on the ceiling, getting slashed. And then she gives that one last reach out and then falls, and that big splash of blood.
Yeah.
When
the Chris character gets killed, it's like she's like the angel, and then the blood goes in slow motion. And I'm like, are you trying to make this celestial and magical? It's a horror movie. God.
That's not Nightmare on Elm Street in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. And I'll continue to say this till the day I die. Is I like Jackie Earle Haley as an actor, but he was terribly miscast as Freddy Krueger in that Nightmare on Elm Street remake. He should have never been Freddy Krueger.
He was basically a continuation of his Rorschach character from the superhero movie. It's like like they hired him because he was in that and he had a mask on most of the movie. So it's like, we'll put some.
You know what I like Jackie Earle Haley in? The Bad News Bears movies, and I liked him in Breaking Away. I thought his character was good in Breaking Away.
Yeah.
Well, but he ain't no Freddy Krueger. I'm sorry.
Well, they're gonna do an Elm Street TV series, I heard. So, I don't know if they're gonna go back into Freddy's past or they're gonna do like a requel where they're connected to the first movie or what they're gonna do. I don't know.
Because Robert Englund's never gonna. No, he's never gonna play Freddy Krueger again.
No, if he was gonna play Freddy Krueger, they would have put him in the remake, and it wouldn't have been a remake. It would have been a sequel. It wouldn't have been.
Yeah, and it would have been better.
Well, I mean, his part would have been better, definitely.
Yeah, it would have raised it up a little bit, even if everybody else was shitty in it. Robert Englund's performance.
I mean, the script wasn't good either. So I mean,
no.
That's why I wish they would just have put Scream to bed instead of trying to bring it back now.
Yeah, there's a lot of things
they must have given Nev Campbell a whole bunch of money. to go from they're not giving her enough money to being like, okay, now I'll do it, and then the whole thing with Melissa Barrera, and it's just like, don't like do what Craven did between 3 and 4. He let some years go by,
Yeah.
let some things
Exactly.
build up, and it's like, because um, I was watching somebody do a review about Elm Street 5, and it's a movie was coming out not even a year later. Like I think between 4 and 5 there was like several months. It wasn't even like a full year. And it's like
Mhm.
that's not enough time to really develop a story and characters. And also you look at, I mean, you're gonna eventually do it, but 5 is just like they had three kills, right? Or 2 kills. Not yeah, 3 kills.
Mhm.
The MPAA was already cracking down on everybody by then.
Yeah.
So you couldn't do anything gory. And then they were doing this whole thing with the dreaming and the little baby's dream, which is a bunch of, no one knows that. First of all, a little baby isn't going to remember that they were dreaming in the womb. That's never going. How do you know that's going to happen? That's a speculative thing. It was just the whole abortion thing, and it's just like this is like, what are you doing with this movie? And then Freddy's just as goofier as ever. It's like Freddy's doing all this goofy shit, and we're talking about abortion. What? What? What is this going on?
Yeah, it doesn't. But I don't think I dislike part 5 as much as some people did. I think the Dead Pit Boys despise that movie. Or at least CK does. I'm not sure about
And then
Uncle Bill.
Freddy, the last Freddy comes back from dog piss in part 4, and then this one he just like he's back. Oh,
But
he has a baby. He comes back through a dream baby version of himself. Like what?
but part 4, I really, really like. Um,
Well, part 4
and
was fun. It was very MTV. It was very hip and cool.
and I love the Alice character.
Yeah.
And I've said this before, when Alice gains all like her brother's energy, all her friends' energy,
Don't
she
be
takes
afraid of your dreams.
she takes all the pictures off of her mirror and she actually looks at herself and says, fucking A. I'm like, what a badass. I want to be Alice,
Yeah.
you know.
But then 5, they're like, what do they do to her character? She's just like,
Yeah. She's just there,
yeah, yeah.
basically. They don't let her
Like I
do
said,
anything.
the baby birth thing is like, okay, sure. And then Freddy, goofy Freddy. And it's, well, I don't know. I guess 5 is better than 6.
Yeah.
I mean, they did Freddy's backstory, was just like the
But
3D
part
Freddy's back.
6, I still had fun with it because I went to the movies and saw it. The thing that I
Roseanne
was
and Tom Arnold. I want
yeah,
my children.
yeah, I want my children back,
I want my
but
sitcom back. No, you're not getting it, Roseanne.
afraid not at this point. They killed her character off, so she can
Yep. Oh, unless they do what they did. It was a dream.
yeah, I don't think that would work now,
That was
but
the worst part of the last season of Roseanne, was like the worst season, because it was like, first of all, they retconned it, and it was like, nope, Dan's been dead this whole season. They would never won the lottery. First of all, winning the lottery was goofy to begin with.
I didn't like that part, and I didn't. I've been going back and watching the early seasons of Roseanne, like
First 5, I think, are the best seasons.
I'll tell you where I'm going to sneeze here.
Bless you.
Yeah, thank you. But I'll tell you when started to fall off for me. The
The
original
shark.
Roseanne series is when how Dan's mom was relatively normal. She was played by the woman that was in Three's Company.
And something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I'm forgetting her name, but
she was in Steel Magnolias. She's the one that made the cake that looked like an armadillo.
that's right.
I don't
But
know how you would make gray acting.
but so the point being that they had Dan's mom being normal, and they had her, after. she split from Dan's father, she had met another man. She seemed happy. She seemed well adjusted
Yeah.
and all that. And then go a few more seasons, and all of a sudden his
She
mother's
broke out of an
mentally,
asylum, and all of
she's
a sudden,
mentally
she's
ill.
Carrie
And
Fisher's mother.
yeah. And but there's that whole scene where Dan just breaks down to Roseanne about what his father did to his mother, and she was in and out of mental hospitals when he was a kid. And I'm like, what? Where did all this come from?
Roseanne started going to a psychiatrist, is what happened. Because
Well,
all that stuff about what her father, and eventually her father was just kind of this goofy dude. All of a sudden, he
yeah,
abused her, and um,
yeah, exactly. There was that mixed in there.
yeah, she had a lot of personal issues, and I think they were coming out in the show. Whether she was trying to help other people who were going through the same thing, or she was just trying to tell her side of the story, maybe, I don't know.
And the whole thing about Dan having an affair when he went out to California to be
Yeah,
with his mother, having an affair with his nurse, with her nurse. What in the heck? Where did that come from? Dan and Roseanne were always so in love with each other in the earlier seasons. I could never see anything like that happen.
that's when people complain, because there's a lot of hate for the show now. That's the Connors.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all the, well, they fired Roseanne. Well, Roseanne should shut her mouth about stuff. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But it's like, and they're complaining about the storylines because, first of all, the sitcoms now in the world's a lot different than it was back in the 80s and the early 90s. So
Yeah.
they're reflecting what's going on in the
What's
world
going
now.
on now? Mm-hmm.
And, Roseanne always did that. They were always talking about things in the world. I mean, I've watched the Connors. It's okay. I mean, I just
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm sort of like a completist. I just watch it because I've been watching it, and I like the actors in it and stuff like that. But fans who will like, Roseanne is like a goddess, and how dare they screw her over and fire her from her show and blah blah blah, and it's like, and they're like, that new show is terrible, and it's like, first of all, you're not watching it, so shut up. That's number one.
I mean, I was disappointed when they got rid of Roseanne.
Yeah, I mean, that
Um,
makes sense, but
but I wasn't. I didn't go. I don't feel like I went ape over it,
people
or
like Sarah Gilbert's evil and she stole the
I
show from
don't
Roseanne.
understand what the whole Sarah Gilbert. I love Sarah Gilbert.
You know why the show came back originally when it came back with the Roseanne show? It was Sarah Gilbert.
Yeah.
She was talking to everybody. She was talking to producers and people. She was like wanted to bring the show back. She's the one who brought the show back, not Roseanne, but people who hate Sarah Gilbert for stealing the show. The show would have never come back at all if it wasn't for Sarah Gilbert and her starting everything up. So people who go, fine, you can hate the Connors, but first of all, you don't know what happened. At this point, I don't even know if Roseanne knows what's happening. She's going a little,
Yes, I don't know what.
I feel bad, like if she's sick and stuff like that. Like if she has emotional and
I think she's got a lot of emotional things going on with her, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And some people would say, well, that's no excuse for her saying the things she did or doing some of the things she's did over the last several years. But, mental health is mental health issues is a very serious problem all over the world. Uh, and I've seen it firsthand here in Louisville, people out on the streets and people, um, no access to medication, no access to treatment, proper treatment for what's going on. So it's really, really sad. Um, but I don't want to bum anybody out talking
Yeah,
about.
I'm sorry, I went down that path with the
No, that's okay. It's not your fault. I went way, way into the mental health issues. But I would love to stay on here all night, but I'm sure TJ's got to get him some rest and I've got to get some rest. I just got a day and a half more of work, and then I am off all next week because I'm going to be on vacation.
You're going to Cincinnati.
I'm going to Horror Hound next Friday, which is Good Friday. Me and Steve are going to go to the Newport Aquarium and we're going to see sharks and all kinds of other sea creatures. I'm really excited about going there and
Cool.
seeing all of that. Thank you, Blissful. Blissful says great live, Dana and TJ. Um, Kathy, if you're still in here, I know I didn't say hello to you earlier, but if you're still in here, hello. Russell is in here.
By the way, I think we're competing with Dead Pit right now.
Are we?
I think they were on the air tonight.
Oops.
Whatever.
Well, that's probably why we're down to 3 people in here now. Probably.
But I
Or
mean, like, how many people are on anyways tonight? Like everybody's probably on tonight.
probably. Probably.
Anyway,
But I guess we'll tie everything up. TJ, is there anything that you want to bring up or promote or anything before we get off here?
no, I'm good.
Okay. I always like to, have an open forum for people that may want to advertise anything. Oh, Kathy may not be on here, but I wanted to show her kind of a prototype of what her Booga Booga Bear is going to look like
There we go.
with the design on it.
Thank you, Blissful.
Because y'all have seen what Jay's is going to look like. But this is the design
Oh, that's cute.
that I used AI and Photoshop to do, and it's got the Freddy glow because that's what Kathy wanted on it. It says, "Whatever you do, don't fall asleep." And so Kathy,
Excuse me, I burped again.
Kathy can fall asleep with her little bear that says, "Whatever you do, don't fall asleep." But these
It comes
bears,
where it comes out of the chat. I'm gonna kill you.
these bears, I ain't even kidding you. I love these bears. They are just so cute. Um, what do you think of the bears, TJ?
They're cute.
Mm-hmm.
I like the shirts. Good choice of designs.
Yeah, I just can't wait to get them on there permanently.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait for to show off Jay's shirt and boxers. I don't know when that's gonna happen.
Yeah, he sent me a picture of the boxers and the shirt, and then he sent me another picture of him with them actually on. So they look good on him, and I'm kind of jealous of them. I at least want a shirt with y'all's on, and don't go out and buy me one, Batman. But I'll buy it myself. I don't, not that I think Jay's begging for stuff. He's not, but I never have felt comfortable with telling people send me stuff. I mean, if you want to send me something, that's fine. But I noticed some other YouTubers, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, they'll say, if you want to send me stuff, I'll review it on here. And like people send them like enormous amounts of stuff. I'm like, how much money do you people have that you can be sending all this stuff? I know Pizzow and Jeremy get all kinds of stuff. And I'm not saying that they're out there begging for stuff. It's just, I think people like to see Jeremy open stuff. I don't know if y'all have ever seen Jeremy on Pizzow's channel, but he has they have a segment like lunch with Jeremy, and sometimes they will unbox stuff and things. And I think Pizzow might be the caretaker for Jeremy. So I don't know that 100%, but that's what I'm assuming.
He was always there.
You've always been the caretaker. Yeah, Batman, you say great live. Wish Jay could have shown his shirt and boxers off.
Yeah.
And Batman says, I got to start building my savings up or my sister might bury me in her backyard. Oh, my, we don't want that to happen. But anyway, I want to thank TJ once again for being on here with me.
Thank you.
To navigate through these shows, especially because I don't think it would have been nearly as fun if I was talking about them.
Yeah, you would have gone through them in like 30 minutes. Like, okay, I'm done. That's it.
Yeah, it would have been really super fast. And I want to thank everybody that came into the chat tonight. The chat was pretty talkative, pretty active most of the time. And we only dropped off here at the end, and that's probably because everybody went over to Dead Pit, I would imagine. Yeah. I bet if I went over there now, a lot of the people that were in here earlier would be over there, which is fine. I don't try to compete with
They have
it.
Rambo on, I think, and
Oh, Rainbow's on.
maybe Uncle Bill and
Is Mark on?
I think Mark might have been on.
But I may check it out and see what they're talking about. But anyway, I guess me and TJ will get out of here for the night, and we'll see everybody next time. So good night, everybody.
Night.
Give a thumbs up, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or Jay will come after you. He's
Thumbs
gonna.
up, share, like, subscribe.
Yeah, share with your friends and family and all that. But we'll see everybody next time. Bye bye.